Happy wife, happy life. If this is true, why do so many married couples I've talked to feel exhausted and honestly resentful? The men feel like they are failing, and the women say that they feel like they're constantly doing everything. So, why do all these common phrases that I've heard in church sound wise and have a kind of humor behind them, but yet they don't seem to be producing anything but resentment and dissatisfaction? So today I want to talk about three phrases that the church has treated as harmless that have come from our culture that are actually causing a major shift from a biblical culture of honor into a culture of light feminism. Let's start with that first phrase, the one I just mentioned, happy wife, happy life. The question that we never ask, and honestly we need to, is why is her happiness the metric for the home's health? Why is her happiness the dictator of my life also being happy? Right? It's something that puts her in the driver's seat as to what the whole course of our household revolves around is her happiness. We certainly can't say that women's moods fluctuate far more than men's. And yet we hear this phrase and it constantly is reiterating that emotional comfort is the highest good, that if we experience conflict, that is somehow a failure, that the leadership role of a man is to make sure that his wife's mood is managed. It's not good on any of the ends, and it's not scriptural. The Bible puts honor in place of emotion and in place of happiness. The Bible puts the man in the place to be faithful, to be truthful, and to be strong for his family. It doesn't put him in the place to manage his wife's emotions. Yeah, he is to be tender-hearted and to love her in that way, but Christ did not come to make the church happy. He came to make the church holy. The next phrase is, he's the head, but I'm the neck. A lot of times that isn't particularly said. It's said in the way of, oh, I'm just his helper, or she's just my helper. Now, the reason why I think this one is the most dangerous is because the subtlety of it, it sounds biblical, that she is to be his helpmate. But what ends up happening is thinking about the phrase, he's the head and I'm the neck. If the neck is the one that is turning the direction of the head, who is the one really leading? So when we boil that down, essentially what we're saying is that she is subversively leading by taking over all of the responsibilities and all of the household while he takes the blame, while he takes the brunt of providing, and she gets to do what she wants. Is this actual male headship, or is this a woman that is taking control of the household without actually having to answer for it because she's just the helper? This is what I see in very conservative, complementary churches, that she is using that phrase, that he is using that phrase to hide the fact that's not really what's happening. That she is controlling all of the household, and he is shirking his responsibilities over to his wife. And this is where I think you get the resentment, where he feels like a failure. She's never happy because she's not living the actual role she was made to live, while she thinks that that is exactly what she's doing. That's why she feels like she has the burden of everything, and he feels like he's failing because they aren't fulfilling their design. They aren't doing what they were made to do. They are living a false reality. And yet we have these phrases in our church that sound simple, that sound harmless, but they're not. We need to get back to a culture of honor. We need to get back to the biblical way of things where Christ is the head of the church and this church submits to Christ. That Christ poured out his sacrificial love for the church, that the church would be made holy. God never guaranteed any of our happiness. In the same way, he doesn't guarantee happiness and doesn't ask the wife to lead. So let's drop these phrases and start focusing on thinking more biblically. Now, before you think that the only side of things that I'm attacking is this light feminism in church, I'm going to make another video talking about an over-realized conservative understanding of marriage, which I think in a lot of ways can be just as dangerous. Stay tuned for that. Because restoring an honorable marriage means that we need to both be on the lookout for covert feminism, but we also need to be careful about over-realized conservative Christianity. Because order without love is tyranny, and love without order is chaos. And I think the biblical plan for marriage fixes both.